A £7,000 discount on a brand new car can feel like a win, until you discover that the same discount has quietly destroyed the value of your car before its first MOT. In 2026, some UK dealerships are not struggling because people have stopped buying cars. The market is up. Electric registrations are up. The problem is that certain cars are being squeezed between cheaper rivals, aggressive finance offers, new replacements, and a used market already full of nearly identical examples. Picture Ben. He walks into a showroom, sees a brand new electric SUV with a huge saving and thinks he has beaten the system. The sales executive says it is the last one at this price. Ben hears urgency. What he should hear is a question. Why does this dealer need the car gone today? That question can save you far more than the discount itself. This is not a list of bad cars. Some of these are genuinely capable, well-equipped, and even enjoyable. It is a list of cars where the buying risk is unusually high, low or falling brand momentum, a replacement that changes the value equation, a price that is hard to defend, or a product that has already been withdrawn while brand new examples are still being advertised. And one important fact before we begin: SMMT registrations are a proxy for demand. They are not a live count of every car sitting on every UK forecourt. So we will not pretend that all 12 are literally parked unsold at every dealer. Instead, we will follow the clues that matter to a buyer: registrations, manufacturer discounting, model withdrawals, competition, and the question nobody asks while looking at a monthly payment: what will this be worth when I need to leave it? The wider market makes the story even more interesting. UK registrations rose 9.2% in the first half of 2026. Battery electric registrations rose 26.6%, taking a record 25% share. So this is not an EVs are dead video. Far from it. But SMMT also says the BEV share remains below the 33% target and estimates more than £12 billion of manufacturer discounting from 2024 to the end of May 2026. That is the contradiction. Electric cars are growing, yet manufacturers are still spending heavily to move them. Somewhere inside that gap are very good deals and very expensive mistakes. The number one car is the clearest example. It is no longer available to order in the UK. The remaining brand new cars are existing stock. Before we get there though, we need to understand why a respected badge and a big battery do not automatically protect your money. Number 12. Toyota bZ4X. Toyota is usually the badge people buy when they want to sleep at night. That reputation matters, but it can also make buyers less suspicious when a dealer offers an apparently irresistible deal on an older bZ4X. The key word is older. Toyota announced a substantially revised bZ4X for the UK, with new battery options, more power, greater efficiency, and a new model range. The current model is advertised from £39,995, while Toyota now highlights up to 352 miles of WLTP range for the updated car. That does not make every earlier example a bad car. It creates a negotiation problem. A pre-update car may be brand new in registration terms, but the minute you drive it home, it is competing with a visibly improved version of the same model. That can affect how a future buyer sees the range, charging, equipment, and price. If a dealer has an older bZ4X in stock, do not ask only, how much off list? Ask, compared with the updated car, what am I giving up? And what is the saving after finance, not before? If the answer is vague, the deal is vague. Toyota's battery warranty reassurance may make the car a sensible long-term ownership choice, but a good warranty does not erase the resale effect of a newer, improved model arriving beside it in the showroom. That is the first lesson. A new registration plate does not always mean a new proposition. At number 11, the risk is not an incoming facelift. It is paying a premium for a car that very few people are even considering in the first place. Number 11. Subaru Solterra. The Subaru Solterra has one obvious strength. It is a proper all-wheel drive electric SUV with ground clearance, Subaru's safety focus, and a clear outdoorsy identity. For the right buyer, that is more appealing than another anonymous crossover, but the right buyer is the problem. Subaru registered only 939 cars in the UK in the first half of 2026, down 25.5% year-on-year, while the overall market rose 9.2%. That figure covers the whole brand. brand, not the Solterra alone. Still, it tells you how small the UK resale audience is compared with the brands sitting next to it on an ordinary retail park. The Solterra is currently listed from £52,505, with a claimed range of up to 289 miles. At that money, the question is no longer simply whether it is capable. The question is whether the next owner will pay a premium for its Subaru-specific strengths when the EV market offers cheaper and more familiar alternatives. This does not mean avoid it at any price. It means do not buy it on the basis that Subaru holds its value without looking at actual used examples, finance settlement terms, and the dealer's contribution. A niche car can be fantastic to own and awkward to exit. Those are not opposite statements. The Solterra teaches us that a good car can still have a narrow audience. Number 10 has the opposite issue. A premium brand, a refined product, but a price point where buyers have too many stronger badges to choose from. Number 10, Lexus RZ. Lexus has earned trust the slow way, by giving owners reasons to come back. The RZ now looks more convincing than it did at launch, with a new 77 kilowatt-hour battery, up to 346 miles of claimed range on the RZ350e, and a battery warranty that can run to 1 million miles under Lexus's conditions. On paper, that sounds like the opposite of a slow-selling car, but the UK buyer is not comparing the RZ with nothing. The RZ starts from £48,365. At that level, buyers are weighing it against Teslas, BMWs, Audis, Polestars, Genesis models, and a fast-expanding group of Chinese electric SUVs. Lexus registered 8,033 cars in the first half of 2026, down 8.6% in a market that grew 9.2%. Again, that is a brand-level clue, not a model sales verdict. The RZ may be the perfect car for somebody who values quietness, dealer experience, and warranty support. But you should not pay full list price merely because the Lexus badge feels safe. The smart question is not, will it be reliable? It is, what happens when I sell a £48,000 plus electric SUV into a market where buyers can choose newer batteries, different body styles, and bigger discounts? Ask for the guaranteed future value, compare the cash price against PCP, and do not let a monthly payment hide the total exposure. At number 9, the badge is newer in Britain and the car is compelling. That combination can feel exciting when you buy it, and lonely when you try to price it against better-known alternatives. Number 9. Genesis G560. The Genesis G560 is the kind of car that makes this list difficult. It is not a joke. It is not cheaply engineered. It is not short of technology. Genesis UK lists it from £54,115 with up to 348 miles of WLTP range in the pure version. The problem is not the car, the problem is market recognition. Genesis registered 626 cars in the UK in the first half of 2026, down 20.7% year-on-year. That is a tiny footprint for a brand asking buyers to spend premium SUV money. A small footprint can mean a more personal ownership experience. It can also mean fewer used car shoppers typing the model name into a search bar when it is time for you to sell. This is exactly where a dealer discount can deceive you. If the car is £5,000 cheaper than a rival today but worth £8,000 less after 3 years, you have not won. You have simply moved the cost from the invoice to the exit. The GV60 may be a strong lease car if the monthly payment, mileage allowance, and guaranteed future value genuinely protect you. It is harder to justify as an automatic cash purchase just because it offers more equipment than a German competitor. Remember this phrase, equipment is not liquidity. The next car has the liquidity of a famous mainstream name, but its electric model is being squeezed by the brand's own future. Number 8. Nissan Ariya. The Nissan Ariya is not short of ability. Nissan advertises 2 battery options, up to 330 miles of range for the larger battery, a practical interior, and prices from £37,000. On its own, that is a respectable package. But 2026 is not a normal year for Nissan's electric range. The brand is pushing the new Leaf and Micra EV, while Ariya buyers are being asked to spend more in a part of the market where choice has exploded. And Nissan's total UK registrations fell 16.7% in the first half of the year, despite the total market growing. That does not prove the Ariya alone is failing. It tells you to negotiate as though the dealer has alternatives to move within the same showroom. Because they do. For a buyer, the Ariya can become attractive when the numbers reflect its position. If the dealer compares it only with premium SUVs, walk away and do your own comparison. If the offer recognizes the new competition inside Nissan's own range and the sharp finance deals elsewhere, then it may be a very comfortable, sensible choice. The danger is buying a big electric SUV because the badge is familiar, then discovering that familiarity does not make it immune to price pressure. Number 7 has the opposite issue. A familiar Italian badge, but a product caught between a cheaper city car and a hybrid version in the same family. Number 7, Fiat 600e. The Fiat 600e is a compact electric SUV with 5 doors, 5 seats, and an official range of up to 254 miles. Fiat lists it from £26,995. Those are sensible numbers on their own. Then you look 2 feet across the showroom. The Fiat 600 is also offered as a hybrid. For many UK buyers without home charging, that immediately changes the conversation. The electric version is not competing only with other brands. It is competing with a familiar, lower commitment alternative wearing the same badge and offering the same basic shape. Fiat registered 3,748 cars in the first half of 2026, down 38.9% year-on-year. That is a major warning sign at brand level when the wider market is growing. It does not tell us exactly how many 600s are sitting in stock, but it does tell you not to accept the first finance quote as though demand were effortless. The 600e can be a good deal for a driver with home charging, predictable mileage, and a sufficiently large discount. But if you buy it because the monthly payment is similar to the hybrid, you may be ignoring the crucial difference. The used buyer who takes it from you later may have a completely different charging situation. At number 6, Fiat faces a tougher problem still. Its most recognizable car is about to compete with a version that solves the exact objection many buyers had in the first place. Number 6, Fiat 500e. The Fiat 500e remains one of the most charming electric city cars on sale. Fiat advertises it from £20,995, with up to 199 miles of WLTP range for the larger battery version. It has brand recognition that many newer EVs would love to have. But the next move from Fiat matters. Right-hand drive production of the new Fiat 500 hybrid was expected to begin in the second quarter of 2026. For a buyer who loves the 500 shape but cannot charge at home, that is not a minor detail. It is an alternative that may remove the reason they rejected the 500 in the first place. That creates a strange problem for a brand new 500e. It could be excellent for your commute and still face more resale pressure because the used market will have buyers comparing electric, hybrid, and older petrol 500s within the same familiar design family. This is not an argument against the 500e. It is an argument against buying it without a plan. If you intend to keep it for many years and can charge cheaply at home, a strong manufacturer contribution or electric car grant can make it appealing. If you expect to trade out in 2 or 3 years, make the dealer show you the guaranteed future value and compare it with a total cash discount. The car at number 5 has a more severe version of the same problem. It does not have Fiat's iconic name to carry it through a weak market. It has a premium badge that many UK buyers still cannot place. Number 5, DS number 4 E-Tense. The DS number 4 E-Tense is not trying to be ordinary. It offers a 213 horsepower electric motor, an integrated heat pump, and charging from 20 to 80% in a claimed 29 minutes. It is distinctive, French, and deliberately more design-led than the average family hatchback. That may be exactly why you like it. But buying a premium car means thinking like the next buyer, not just the current one. DS registered only 112 vehicles in the entire UK market in the first half of 2026, down 88.2% year-on-year. That is not the number 4's own sales figure, and it would be unfair to pretend it is. It is, however, a brutally clear signal of how little day-to-day presence the brand currently has in Britain. When you own a rare premium car, there are 2 possibilities. It becomes a desirable left-field choice, or it becomes a car that needs a significant price reduction before somebody will take a chance on it. You cannot know which outcome you will get just by admiring the dashboard. The number 4 makes sense only if the price compensates you for the risk, the local dealer can support it properly, and you are happy to own rather than flip it. Buy it because you love the product and the numbers work. Do not buy it because a salesperson calls scarcity exclusivity. That distinction becomes even more important with the smaller DS. At number 4, the brand's weak momentum meets one of the fiercest EV segments in Britain. Number 4, DS3 E-Tense. The DS3 E-Tense is still marketed as a compact electric SUV with up to 248 miles of range and an 8-year, 100,000-mile battery warranty. On a technical level, that is enough range for many households, but this is a segment where enough is no longer enough. The buyer can now choose a Renault 5, a Mini, a Fiat 500e, a Ford Puma Gen E, a Hyundai or Kia, plus an expanding list of Chinese alternatives. Some come with bigger dealer networks, some come with stronger used car demand, some come with much more aggressive finance support. The DS3's issue is not that it has no charm. Its issue is that the premium it asks buyers to understand has to survive a brutal comparison screen on AutoTrader 3 years later. And the brand data gives you a reason to be cautious. 112 DS registrations across the whole UK in the first 6 months of 2026 is not the footprint of a brand with automatic residual value protection. If you see a new DS3 E-Tense with a large deal, do not assume it is a steal. Work out whether the price is low enough to reflect the exit risk. Check warranty transferability, nearby dealer coverage, servicing arrangements, and comparable nearly new DS examples. A deal is not the amount you save from RRP. A deal is what you lose in total cost of ownership. The final 3 cars are different. They do not merely have a difficult selling story, their product story in the UK has already ended or is ending. That is where a brand new label can become dangerous. Number 3, Mazda MX-30 REV. The Mazda MX-30 REV was one of the most interesting ideas in the market. An electric car with a rotary engine generator to extend its journey capability. It was unusual, characterful, and very Mazda. But the UK market has made its decision. Mazda has removed the MX-30 REV from its UK lineup permanently, with no direct replacement planned. That does not mean an existing brand new example is automatically a disaster. It means the discount must be honest about what you are buying. A discontinued product with a tiny pool of future buyers, an unusual powertrain, and no direct successor keeping the model familiar in showrooms. The worst way to buy one is to hear brand new Mazda, massive saving, and stop there. The right questions are, when was it built? What is the full warranty start date? Will the dealer put the battery and powertrain coverage in writing? What does insurance look like? And how much cheaper is it than a current alternative with a clearer resale story? The MX-30 REV could be an entertaining long-term keeper for a driver who understands exactly why it exists. It is a much harder car to justify as a short PCP cycle or a purchase made purely because it has been discounted. At number 2, the same warning applies, but the manufacturer had already shown us with a huge price intervention how hard it was working to get the car moving. Number 2, Honda eNY1. Honda's eNY1 was supposed to be the brand's electric SUV for buyers who wanted Honda practicality and Honda reassurance. It did have useful strengths, including a 5-year, 90,000-mile warranty. Then Honda offered up to £8,750 off and 0% APR on the car through finance packages at the start of 2026. That is not proof that the eNY1 was a poor car. It is proof that its original proposition was not converting enough buyers at the original price. And that matters because a large new car discount does not vanish when you sign the contract. It resets the market's idea of what the car is worth. The £8,750 promotion ended in February 2026. If you find an unregistered eNY1 now, the discount may still look spectacular. But you should calculate from the discounted price, never from the old list price. Then compare it with a current EV that has a future replacement cycle, current manufacturer support, and an active new car presence. For the right cash price with the right warranty and a plan to keep it, an outgoing eNY1 can be rational. But if the finance deal only works because the dealer talks about the saving rather than the future value, step back. You are not buying a discount. You are buying the car that will be left when the discount has done its job. And now we reach the car that turns the title from a metaphor into a literal stock car question. Number 1, GWM Ora 03. The GWM Ora 03, formerly the Funky Cat, is the clearest example in this video because the UK story has already been decided. GWM has discontinued it in Britain. The car is available only through existing dealer stock. Reports on the withdrawal say just 26 Ora 03S were registered in the first quarter of 2026, following weak sales. GWM itself now focuses its UK range elsewhere, while the Ora 03 has become the car a dealer needs to clear rather than a model the brand is actively building a future around. This is not a criticism of everybody who owns one. The Ora 03 has character, a distinctive cabin and a design that some people genuinely love. But buying one new now requires a different calculation from buying a current, expanding model. Your questions are not optional. How long will parts supply be supported? Which local workshop will handle the car? Does the manufacturer warranty transfer cleanly? What is the real cash price after every contribution? How does insurance compare? And crucially, what would make the next owner choose this over a current Renault, MG, Mini, BYD or other active EV brand? If the answer is simply because it is cheap, cheap has to be very cheap. A £3,000 saving on a car with a weak resale story is not automatically enough. A genuine clear-out price, a long ownership plan, and strong written warranty support might make it a calculated bargain. Anything less is a gamble disguised as a new car. That is why the Ora 03 is number one. Not because no one could ever want it, but because its new car selling story is over while the remaining cars still need owners. And that is the moment when a buyer has the most negotiating power and the biggest responsibility to understand what comes next. So, are these 12 cars nobody wants? No, not exactly. That is the wrong conclusion. Some are good cars with a narrow audience. Some are victims of brutal EV price competition. Some are outgoing models made vulnerable by a newer replacement. And 3 have the clearest warning of all. Their UK model story has ended while new examples are still being sold from stock. The new rule is not avoid every discounted car. It is this: never let a dealer make you judge a deal by the size of the discount alone. Before you sign, check 5 things. First, is this the current version or an older car overtaken by a facelift, a bigger battery or a replacement? Second, is the manufacturer still taking new orders, or are you looking at run-out stock? Third, calculate the price from today's real transaction price, including finance costs, not from a crossed-out RRP. Fourth, check the guaranteed future value. Use listings and insurance before you commit. The car has to make sense at the end of the agreement, not only on delivery day. And fifth, ask whether you would still buy it if you had to keep it for 5 years. If the answer is no, a giant discount may not be an opportunity. It may be the market telling you the exit will be difficult. The best deal in this video may be an outgoing MX-30R EV, a discounted E:/NY1 or an Ora 03, but only at a price that pays you for the risk. The worst deal is any car bought because the showroom made the discount feel like a deadline. Tell us in the comments, which one of these would you buy if the price was right, and which one would you never take even with a huge discount? Include the car you drive, its mileage and what happened to its value when you traded it in. Subscribe for the cars that look cheap today, the faults that get expensive tomorrow, and the buying decisions that can save you thousands over the years.